to understand how far gone we really are in this country. It's not just that you can see a street named after Kahana. It's not just that you can mail letters with a stamp of Kahana. It's not only the right. It's mainstream. It's the middle. It's the center. It's all the Israeli news outlets and media sites that give him the platform, that give the Kahanists open mics. I mean, statistically, maybe the prime minister gets more airtime. After that, it's the Kahanist Ben-Gvir who gets the most invitations to come speak on the panels. He's the one who gets the platform that's the largest of all the Israeli politicians, if you can imagine that. He's the most popular. And it's not only the Likud, it's labor as well, I'm sad to say. So, and this is the last sentence I'll say to take you out. A decade ago, this is again in the heart of Tel Aviv, at Tel Aviv Central Bus Station, the Kahanists set up a display, and they thought, we're gonna have a referendum, they said. And this referendum, we're asking passersby to vote. Do you believe that Kahana was right, or do you believe that Rabin was right? Is it right to ethnically cleanse Palestinians, or is it right to make peace with them? With all the problematic nature of the Oslo Accords, but in concept, was Kahana right or was Rabin right? Now, I don't think the question was settled at Tel Aviv Central Station, but it was later settled by Israel's president in recent months, because you would think that the head of the, after all, Rabin was the head of the Labor Party, right? The labor or the left-wing nationalists, right? So you'd think that the current Israeli president, who himself was the head of the Labor Party, who was allegedly the head of the opposition to Netanyahu for years, that he would quite clearly choose Rabin, whose path should be followed. But since Herzog was elected Israeli president in recent months, after a quarter century of the Israeli government holding a memorial service every year on the anniversary of Rabin's death at the site where he was assassinated in front of Tel Aviv City Hall, after 25 years, no longer. This year, it stopped. Instead, Herzog, who as opposition leader backed every move Netanyahu made over the last decade, Herzog, now that he's prime minister, they don't any longer do those memorial services to Rabin in Rabin Square named after him. Instead, Herzog goes down to Khalil. He goes down to Hebron, to the site of the massacre, and he lights candles with the Kahanist community there. And I'm not saying that in a flippant way. Here is Herzog himself with this man, this rabbi. Who is this rabbi that he's so proudly aligning himself with? None other than Eliezer Melamed, the very rabbi that initiated the whole process of Rabin's assassination, when he sent a letter to hundreds of Israeli rabbis asking them, is Rabin deserving of death? Maybe we need to discuss this. Maybe we need to mete out a death sentence to Rabin. Discuss, debate. He launched that process as Eliezer Melamed. Decades ago, he was considered far right and fringe. Today, he's celebrated by Israel's labor, left-wing president. This is the reality that we're living in. This is why I say that these are no longer separate entities, that Israel has now become Kahanistan.